three things that we do have. So I've talked about influence is not trying to control someone or manipulate them. What then is the definition of influence? Well, according to Cambridge Dictionary, is to cause someone to change a behavior, belief, or opinion, or to cause something to be changed. When we try to control a situation, we try to, what are we really trying to do? We're trying to stop change. In the 21st century, that's not happening. You're not going to stop change. We might be able to affect it, even if slightly, for the better, for the positive, to try to see what that change is going to be and how we can modify ourselves to fit within that change. But we can't stop it. So as managers, what this really talks about is it's about building relationships. As we talk about altering someone's behavior, see, I'm not trying to change the person. See, Charlie shows up late for work 3 days in a row. Now, is Charlie just a bad employee? Probably. Okay. Oh my God, you're Charlie. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call. I switched it from Charlie to Larry because I was offending too many Larrys. Sorry about that. So Larry shows up 3 days. Oh my God. So Jennifer shows up 3 days late in a row. Is she a bad employee, or does she have something pressing that we don't necessarily know about? It's not that we're trying to change her or him as a person, but we're trying to affect their behavior. And that is something that we do have influence over. Influence comes from credibility. No one is really going to listen to your opinions or to watch what you do or take what you say to heart if you're not viewed as an expert or someone with experience in the field. So you have to come from a sense of credibility. How do you build credibility? Well, number one is to show appreciation. And we'll go kind of deep into this. To show appreciation. I'm not talking about shining someone on. I'm not talking about false platitudes. I'm talking about sincere appreciation. If you have someone who goes above and beyond, they take the initiative to say, you know what, you really helped me out of the jam there. I appreciate you just taking care of that before I had to say anything. Let them know that you appreciate them. See, people don't leave a job because of the money. That's a misconception. Everybody thinks that, well, they went someplace else to get more money. Probably not. Most people who quit their job don't leave because of money. They knew what the money was at the interview. They leave because they feel unappreciated, undertrained, undervalued. That's generally why people leave. So be okay with expressing the appreciation that someone does for their hard work. Be supportive. Be supportive. You know, when I talked to those foster kids, and I told them about a positive mental attitude, about controlling the resources that they have, their work ethic, I wasn't trying to control them, but I absolutely did influence them. I influenced them because I showed them I was a support for them. That I would show them the path to their success, which for those kids was to get back home. I was there to help them along the way, and I gave them hope. So be a support for your people. If 5:30 rolls around and you know you're going to be slammed, then be available on the floor. And I know that you have to do a lot of reports and inventory and invoices, but be available as a support for them. Decisiveness. One of the biggest things that a leader has to do is to decide. Because people want to know what direction we're going next. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? So you've got to be decisive. People are much more willing to forgive an honest mistake of management than indecisiveness. here is just simply not playing favorites. Yes, you are going to reward the harder workers. Yes, you are going to reward the ones who have seniority, of course. But does that reward come out of their own work ethic? Or is it simply because they like the same football team we did? Or, they kind of remind of us when we were that age. So, a sense of fairness. Consistency. Has anybody, not here, but has anybody ever in your time went to work someplace and you would have to ask someone else on the team, is he in a good mood today? Because you didn't know what you were going to get with the boss. Just like the kids who needed a routine and they needed to know what to expect, adults want the exact same thing. We want consistency. We don't want to go in and have to deal with Dr. Jekyll one day and Mr. Hyde the next. We want that consistency. Integrity. Integrity. Perhaps almost above all is integrity. If a story that I like to relate is that because this actually happened to me one time. I was working in an office, and there was a memo that went around, almost like an edict, and it said, stop pilfering the office supplies. We have everything inventoried and counted for. Okay, fantastic. And the buddy who worked in the cubicle next to me, he was like the biggest pen thief ever. He had a wide rainbow of color of ink. And it seems like at the end of every day, he took a pen. About 2 or 3 weeks later, after that, we watch our boss, Friday afternoon, saying goodbye to everybody, and he's carrying, and it was still banded, so it's supposedly new, carrying a big giant box full of copier paper. And he took it out into the parking lot, opened the trunk of his car, put it in, and drove away. Now, maybe he was going to do a lot of work that weekend at home. I don't know. But, it kind of gave everyone else a license that it was okay to steal the office supplies when it's not. So you have to lead by example. You have to lead by example.